back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Tina Rahimi, who made history as the first female Muslim boxer to represent Australia in the Paris Olympics 2024. What an achievement. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for fitting us in, because I've just heard you came right from the Olympics to a holiday in Dubai and you're doing some media. So thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Let's jump right in. I feel like we have a lot to get to. What did it mean to you to be the first Muslim boxer to represent Australia at the Olympics?
I think it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to my community. It just meant a lot to Muslims and just women all around the world. I think to be that representation that you can do anything and be anyone that you want, and not worry about what you're wearing and not be judged with how you're looking. It meant a lot to me and everyone. So I'm so happy to be that representation and to be opening doors for young girls all around the world and women to feel comfortable to achieve their dreams.
That's amazing. I have to say, like, looking at your Instagram feed, it's just positive vibes. What did it take to get to this point in your career? Tell us about the journey.
Like in terms of positivity
in terms of the boxing.
Yeah. Well, I just stuck like really firm into, just wanting to achieve my goal. Like it was just about waking up every day and making sure that if I felt like it or not, to just keep going. That's what it's all about. Like if you have a goal, you got to do it regardless. Like your feelings don't matter pretty much. Like there was days that I doubted myself. There's days that I thought that I just didn't believe in myself, and I never thought I would even be in the Olympics. As much as I think about it, it's a massive achievement, and I'm proud of that. And the fact that I made it, like just a normal person, a normal person from Australia, who lives in Bankstown, to be able to go to the Olympics, right. I did it, and it just took that hard work and sacrifice to be able to do that. And yeah, it just shows that anything is possible for anyone with hard work.
And how did you find your path into boxing?
Honestly, it was the most randomest decision. Like I was at the gym and I was with a friend of mine who was, we were just doing like a normal gym session. We had no history in training. It was just about going to the gym and lifting some weights, which becomes a little bit boring. You don't have like a personal trainer or anyone assisting you. So when I found out about these women classes, which was not too far from where I lived, I was like, okay, well, do you want to join with me? The gym's not really working out. Let's just try something different. And yeah, I got my friend to join with me. We started off with the women's classes, and I just became like obsessed, like learning new techniques and just learning how to throw a punch, and like it just became like something that, oh my God, I need to perfect it. And then suddenly I just knew I was really good at it and I was really strong, and I just got really motivated, even going to like my gym, a fight night that like a few of the fighters were competing at from my gym. And I was like, oh my God, I could do this. Like I could step in the ring. I could so totally do this. And then from there, 6 months after, I had my first fight. Yeah.
So amazing. I have to ask, first of all, what age were you when that happened? And then what was your first fight like? Because we talk about boxing, but I think the reality of actually going into a ring and facing someone else punching you is quite a step. So how did you face that?
So 6 months later, I was like, okay, I had my first fight, and then honestly, it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. Like I was really shy. I never had confidence. And the fact that I fought, I was really, really shy. Around like, what am I? I would say I'm an introvert, so I would be like open more around people that I know. But yeah, I had my first fight. I think my first 7 fights, I cried. Before I walked out, I was crying. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I would question myself. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, this is not me. Like, there's a whole crowd watching me and looking at me, and I'm about to go compete in front of, let's just say, like 200 people at the time. And I had like major anxiety. But once I stepped in there and once I actually started to compete and once I won, it was like a feeling that I've never experienced. I was like, oh my gosh, like this felt so good. Yeah. Like before I was like, no, this is not for me. But once I finished, I was like, when's my next fight? I want to know when I'm fighting again. But it was definitely the hardest thing that I've ever done. Like, imagine like you're in the ring with someone and it's literally you against them. Like, there's no one else. It's not a team sport. Like, whatever work you've done before that is going to show in the ring. If you didn't run, if you didn't, do the work, you're going to gas out or you're not going to be able to perform. And it all shows. It all shows in there. Yeah.
So you cried 7 times, and I just feel like, so many people go through difficulties in life. What would you say to them? Like, what kept you going that you could do it? How did you know that you could go all the way?
I think there's always this feeling inside where you're like, I guess you're just nervous and you don't know what's going to happen and you're just like, oh my God, what do I do? But you got to let that, you got to like believe in that feeling. Like we all get that feeling, it's just about pushing through and then like getting out of your comfort zone, I would say. Like I was definitely not in my comfort zone and I stepped out of my comfort zone and I did something that I felt like, it is so nerve-wracking, and I went and I did that, and I just kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and it just made me better and better each time. And if I was to stop, I would have never made it to the Olympics, because honestly, the feeling of this is like holy crap! Like
right.
I'm about to jump in the ring in front of so many people who are just about to watch me, and it's just I can't even describe the feeling. It's like I cried. That we already know that. So yeah, it's a really, really stressful, but at the same time amazing feeling once you're finished.
So inspiring, so inspiring. And like we're sitting next to an Olympian. You made it to the Olympics, and the first video I want to talk about is there's a great video of you doing the Aussie war cry. Was that like spontaneous or was it a planned moment? Like how did it come about?
Well, we all have our moments. So basically, it's like everyone just tries to like do the Aussie chant, and like it's just like a playful environment. Everyone's like happy and everyone's just like, okay, I'm going to do the chant now. Do you know what I mean? So, and I have a really loud voice. So, and I always start the chants at our boxing games. So if we have someone competing, I'll be like, okay, guys, should I do the chant? Should I do the chant? And like, I'm really loud. So I usually start it off and then everyone joins in. And then I was at the ceremony. I was like, guys, should I like do the chant? And like, yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. So then I started doing it and, yeah, I guess that's how it happened. And then I was like, oh my God, like such a good video. And it was like so positive. But I'm guessing you obviously saw the backlash that happened after that.
Right. Yeah. Like you see the comments come through and the comments of posts of like, we see it daily on Lovin Dubai, like it's just, you get such a mixed bag. And although there's so much positivity, it's so easy to see the negative and to latch onto those. So I'm just wondering, did that impact you?
Yeah, definitely. So I did an interview on a radio station yesterday as well, and I spoke about that. It was honestly like I've dealt with hate like my whole boxing career. I think there's always going to be people that are going to criticize you, and you sort of like take it from one year at the other. You're like, whatever, like what do you have going for you? That's what you think about them, for them to hate on you for no reason. But once I started receiving this a few days out from competition, it was a little bit harder for me to cope because I felt like there was so many comments. It wasn't like your irregular 1 or 2 comments. It was just like everyone like jumping on, and there was more negativity than positivity. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm an Australian, like I was born and raised in Australia. So like, why does it matter how I look? Like I classify myself as an Australian, like I've barely left the country. Do you know what I mean? And like I only left the country for boxing, and I've been there my whole life. And to see that there's people that are not accepting me for who I am, it was really, it was really devastating and really upsetting actually. And it definitely affected me. And I think it was like a few days out from competition. So I was crying and I spoke to my female coach, and I was just like, I'm feeling really down. Like, right. There's these comments that are really getting to me. And she's just telling me all that positive stuff, like, whoever is successful, there's always going to be comments like that. And she really comforted me, which was really, really nice. But I didn't really speak about it to a lot of my teammates and stuff because but a lot of people actually saw it, like with the other coaches. I'm like, oh, like how are you coping with that? I saw your comments on your post, and like what's that all about? And I was like, I don't know, like, I'm just going to let that be and then just focus on competing and not let that background noise affect my performance.
Right. Well, I'm glad that you had a support system there that you could talk to. Do you have any message for, I guess, internet trolls? You know, like, do you have a message that you'd like to share to them about how it can affect people? Online bullying, basically.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's not nice. Like, think of yourself in that position. To, you know, imagine you were trying to do things positively, and like you were just trying to be yourself, and there's people hating on you for just being you. I think it's not nice, and I think it should be stopped. And if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it. As simple as that. Like, just stick to yourself. Like, I don't like things. Sometimes I see posts and I see people doing things, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Like, I might think that, but I'm not going to go out of my way and let them, like, put them down. Like, what they do is none of my business, and that's how it should be. You know, you shouldn't be negative.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, who has the time in this world for those types of comments? Yeah. Seriously. There were so many stories that grabbed attention for the Olympics. I think in the run-up, one that I heard, and actually I didn't have like the insights on, was the fact that hijabi athletes were going to be banned.
Yeah.
From competing. And like, was there ever a question mark? Were you thinking, could I be banned? Like, how did that play out for you?
Yeah, like at first when I heard the news, I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to affect me? But then once I did a little bit more research, I found out it was for the French athletes and not for any other athletes around the world. So I know that they're all about secularism. So it's about like no signs of religious you can't wear any signs of like religion, so the hijab, the cross. Yeah, but I think it would, especially, and of course you got to respect everyone's laws, and which I might not agree with, but you know, you have to always accept the laws of the country that you're in. But I find it quite unfair where it's an Olympic event, and you know, there's women that feel comfortable with how they dress, and that's with or without hijab. Like, we should all be able to participate in sport, and it's all about, you know, inclusivity, coming together, and we're all equal, you know, and what I wear shouldn't affect anything, and it's about your performance at the end of the day, and that's what we really should look at. We shouldn't even look at how a person looks.
Yeah, 100%. Another story that dominated headlines, especially about female boxing, of course, was the story of Amin Khalif, who went on to take the gold.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, what was, you know, that dominated story headlines here, and what was the talk on the ground regarding the attention and that her story received?
Oh, honestly, like, I really felt for her. I just felt like there was so much backlash without any proper evidence. Like, I felt like the people were just talking, and I've seen all these articles, and I'm like, imagine like what she's going through right now. Like, she's a woman, you know, and they were saying, oh, she's a male, but like, where's your evidence? Like, where's the actual evidence that's been provided that she's a man? Okay. Do you know what I mean? So I really felt for her, and I felt like a lot of people on social media were coming out and are giving all this negative talk, and I'm like, you shouldn't say anything unless you know what's 100% true. Mm-hmm. I know that she failed like a gender test or something last year, and that's with like another boxing organization, but they never even provided the evidence. Like, they never came out with, like, if it was true. And I have no clue about it, anything about it, but right. Like, why didn't they provide any evidence? Like, they just said all these things, and yeah, I think it's just it was really unfair, and I think the fact that the whole world, you know, was giving her criticism, and I feel like they still do. Right. It's quite sad, and I really felt for her, especially as someone who's experienced online bullying. I felt like I couldn't even imagine what she was going through competing at the Olympics with that much hate.
Yeah, it's so interesting how social media just the stories propel, but also there was a lot of good, and I actually think it was such a great Olympics as an audience. And there's the athletes and the performances, and then there's the Olympics village, which, by the way, I'm always so interested in. And you see these things that come out. I know you shared a story about it as well, like the cardboard beds where you're eating. Like, what was the whole Olympics village experience like for you? Was it what you were expecting?
I think you just never know what to expect, because we didn't know what was inside until we actually jumped in. So like I actually went in there. I think it was me documenting everything. It was like I was taking my audience through what I'm seeing. So that's why I was so interested, like to keep making TikToks and showing everyone like what I'm experiencing. It was just so fun. Like, everyone just commenting about the cardboard beds, the muffins.
Actually like a cardboard bed?
It was 100%.
But how are they putting Olympic athletes on cardboard beds? Like surely you need like pillows and, and bubbles to sleep on.
So the actual what do you call it? The bottom's cardboard, not the actual the mattress is not cardboard.
Okay.
So I feel like it was actually pretty firm. Like I know there's like people that made TikToks of them like jumping on the bed and like punching the bed, and it's like, oh, it's still staying like firm. So it was quite interesting. But to be honest, I didn't mind it. It was quite comfortable for me. The pillows were good. It was just another place to sleep, I guess.
And speaking of sleeping, what was your mindset like the night before your fight? How are you feeling?
Well, I was working with a mindset coach. So I was working with her for 3 months. So Claudine, she was absolutely amazing. Like I've never been so confident to walk into the ring. Like she sent me like audio messages for me to listen to, and I would just visualize myself walking inside the ring. Like I knew exactly what I was expecting and what I wanted. So it was like I already visualized everything, and I was so confident. I was so happy, and I just thought I would go in there and win. And that's the mindset that I wanted to go in with. Obviously, didn't work out in my favor. I did lose to the eventual silver medalist, but it was still like I wouldn't change it for the world. Like the way everything was prepared, I think mentally I was more than ready.
Interesting. Mindset coach for 3 months to get you prepared.
So good. It was the best decision I've made. And I think you think, oh, like what are they going to say? Like, are they just going to tell me, oh, just keep going or do this or do that? But really, she helped me so much, like to just be positive with myself and just to believe in myself. And I think it's really, really important to have that.
And what was your overall favorite Olympics moment?
You know what? I think a lot of us really liked the closing ceremony as well. I think we all got the opportunity to just relax and just enjoy like eating and just like being with each other and just being proud of like our achievements. You know, we all made it to the Olympics at the end of the day, and it was just so fun. And I guess like obviously not worrying about what we eat because we're always making weight. So to be able to just like, like just to chill and like, and just relax. I mean, it's felt really good. And even here, like for me to just eat what I want every day, I'm like, I could live this lifestyle. It's so good.
This is the thing, like you're putting everything, heart and soul for many, many years to prepare for this day. So after dedicating so much time and effort, what happens now? So kind of where do you go from here?
Well, it just depends. Like we have the option of turning professional, you could fight on like major cards and on professional cards, or you can we've got like the Commonwealth Games, which you would know about. And there's obviously the Olympics in the next 4 years. So at the moment, I'm just trying to enjoy the process and just really take everything in. And I think once I get back, I really need to decide what's next. To me, it's like I really do want to go to the next Olympics. I honestly believe in myself, and I know that I'm capable of doing so and winning a medal for Australia. So, but 4 years down the track, you don't know what happens, so you can't really say much right now.
Love that so much. Love that mindset. What is your definition of success?
My definition would probably be, I think as long as you give it your best, like as long as you try your best and you wake up every day and you just keep going, you give it all your all. I think the outcome doesn't really matter. Like we all fail, we all we all have our ups and downs. It's like a cycle. You win, you lose, you win, you lose, but eventually, things will start to go right, I believe. Everything happens in its right timing, and everything happens for a reason. So even if it's a loss, it's all building towards something bigger and better. Yeah.
Amazing. Before you leave us, you mentioned that post got a lot of hate, but also you mentioned representation, how important it is, and you obviously have a strong female following, people wearing the hijab, young women. Do you have a message for your audience that you would like to share?
Yeah, I would just probably say embrace who you are. Don't worry about what anyone says about you. You know, like I didn't worry about that, and look where I am now. Just be yourself and be happy with who you are and how you represent yourself, and don't worry about what other people say or think. Like, who are they to you? You know, everyone's got an opinion. You just got to keep the positivity within and just let go of any negativity. And that's my advice. Just you do you.
Give me goosebumps.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
LA 2028, is that the goal?
For the moment, we'll say it is. So we never know what would happen in 4 years, but definitely still boxing, I think.
Amazing. Best of luck. Hope to follow your story as you continue. That's Tina Rahimi. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Guys, that is the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.